The Houston Texans have fired head coach David Culley after one season with the team. This comes to a surprise to a lot of people, especially because Culley wasn't fired immediately after Sunday's loss to the Tennessee Titans. And that led a lot of people over the last few days to be like, okay, his job is probably safe. David Culley said on Sunday in an interview that he believes that his job was safe and he was going to return as the Texans head coach. That is no longer happening. He is gone. And this is a team in the Houston Texans that coming into 2021, they were dealing with a lot of uncertainty. Deshaun Watson had asked for a trade. Deshaun Watson was accused of what he was accused of. He wasn't available to play, and they didn't make him available to play. There were rumors that they were going to trade him, and he was the franchise. Had J.J. Watt was gone. A lot of the pieces that had helped make that team great in the years past, gone. So it led a lot of people to believe when they brought in someone like David Culley, who was with the Ravens the year before, helping run their pass game. And the Ravens are not notorious for having a passing game that's going to like throw it over the heads of everyone every other play. They're a team that relies on the run game. So Culley comes in from the Ravens, and he gets hired, and people immediately say, well, it's kind of strange they make this run for David Culley specifically, especially when you have a lot of offensive guys like Eric Bieniemy out there. You had Jim Caldwell potentially out there. You had a few options out there. You could have gone and got Robert Saleh. Instead, they went with David Culley, and that led a lot of people to predict, that led a lot of people to think that maybe they're just hiring him for this year to get through this year so that in 2022 they can have the coach or go after a coach that they might want more and maybe reset the table then, because they weren't exactly ready to do that this year. Obviously, you don't have a first round pick. Obviously, Bill O'Brien, the GM, worked his magic and cost you a ton of picks and a ton of good players. So now you're stuck with what you're stuck with. So a lot of people were thinking, all right, they bring him in for a year. They're obviously going to do terrible. Then they're going to have a reason to fire him. They fire him, move on, move in a new direction with the person they want after a year. Because maybe you don't want to put in the head coach that you really want or whatever in a situation where they're going to have a few tough seasons. Maybe you do the one and done thing. Same thing was done with Steve Wilks. I'm not a fan of this. I'm genuinely not a fan of this at all, because teams would rather be one and done with a guy and, give false hope to their fans, false hope to the coach, false hopes to the players who, by the way, I think the players generally like playing for David Culley. Like, this is a Texans team that was not talented at all, but with Davis Mills, they managed to win 4 games. Like, they went 4-13. They weren't in the bottom of their division. They were definitely better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. They proved that. They beat them twice. They beat the Titans. They beat the Chargers. Like they legitimately beat some teams. They were in it with the Patriots. They were in it with the Browns. They were in some of these games that they lost. They lost a lot of games by a lot. I'm not saying they were a good team, but they were a team that came and played and gave a lot of effort, and that stems from head coaching. That stems from being motivated. So at the very least, he did his job well at motivating his players. Now, whether or not David Culley is like a top 20 head coach in the NFL, that I don't think that really matters. I think you don't hire a guy just to fire him in the first place. Like, if that's your MO, if that's what you want to do, they're more than welcome to do it. It's a shitty thing to do. And it shouldn't be done because it helps no one. It doesn't even help your team. You waste a year. That's what happens. You waste a year. And with all this money on the line, with the hopes and dreams of all the people in Houston on the line, with everything that's involved, you would think, hey, maybe we don't just waste everyone's fucking time. But that's what the Texans did this year. And David Culley, he's got a lot of respect around the NFL. He was one of the older head coaching hires last year. I doubt he's going to get head coaching buzz, but don't be surprised if you see him potentially get a spot as an assistant. And an assistant head coach potentially because of his experience. Because at the end of the day, he was able to motivate these players to play on a shitty team. So thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.